I cannot recall the last time I did this podcast with no control. And if anything messes up on this, we're going to have to consider it fraud on this episode of the Orange Black SoccerCast. Oh, and we're going to talk about Orange County Soccer Club and some other stuff, I think. Maybe. Yes. No. This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast.
This is the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. Follow us on Twitter at OCSC_SoccerCast or on Facebook at Orange and Black SoccerCast.
How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black SoccerCast, the first and only podcast dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans, and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Zamora, and I'm going to take you through this wonderful journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. And joining us at the last moment, by all means here, the man who's been with us since day one. He is the man from Catalan Coalition, and that is Dylan. Dylan, how are we doing, my man?
We're doing pretty good. I'm a few beers deep at a great brewery in Orange, California. But figured I'd hop on for a few minutes. I've got some friends and family in town, so wanted to talk about this week's match and give my thoughts and give the things I heard, and keep my streak alive. I'm not going to be coy about it. That's the only reason I'm here.
And your friends are okay with it. They're not going to make you head out early. You're going to be able to fully talk about this big stuff.
Yeah, thankfully they're all a lot more drunk than me, so it works out.
Well, there we go. Well, let's move on down south on I-5 down to the beautiful city of San Diego. We've got Alan down there in San Diego. Alan, he's pumped up. Look at that. He's pumped up for this podcast. Woo! Alan, how are we doing, man?
Great. I was like ready to hop in and get introduced first, and then luckily Dylan made it in time because I was nervous about being the first introduction. There's like a lot of pressure, a lot to live up to. He's got wavier hair, so like I'm glad he showed up and really rocked it out of the park. And yeah, things are going on right down here. I got like multitasking with the recall thing coming up, and life happening, and I have a nice seltzer, so we're ready to go.
A seltzer? Ooh, you're fancy tonight, man.
It just gets really hot in here lately, like in the house. And so I don't want to turn the AC on that's right over here because it's loud. So it's like, I need something that I can like crush, and IPAs don't cut it when it's really hot. And I want to drink something really fast.
Perfect. Way to mention Dylan's, amazing hair there. He has enough for all of us on this podcast, including the man controlling our show tonight, but we'll talk about him in a little bit. Let's go back. Let's go north. Let's go northwest, I believe, is the direction we would go to the next gentleman here. We learned that like one of the first times he joined us as a member of our team, and that's Brad up in Reno. By the way, Brad, like the only one that is not partaking in the voting process tonight, or at least over the last week. So you got the night off from that, but you do have to do some podcasting with us. How you doing, man?
I'm doing quite well. Tonight I am drinking some Glenfiddich Scotch. I've already had a brewery from the brewery, which is in your neck of the woods. But I'm just excited, and I have some wonderful, splendid stuff to tell you guys at the end that even you guys don't know, but you're going to have to wait till my random thought on that, because foreshadowing, you have to stick to the end.
So awesome. Dylan will have to stick with us to the end then if he wants to know what this amazing idea or thought is from Mr. Brad up in Reno. Well, let's get into the fun part of things. I know that there may be some distraction from some people tonight, including Alan already said he's going to be distracted a little bit tonight. Appreciate for anyone that is watching or listening live to this episode, and we appreciate that at all times. Let's talk about some soccer here. Let's talk about the match this past weekend. I think last week we all discussed it, that this was a match that Orange County needs to win. It's a big match for them heading into the final bit of the season. And maybe for the first bit of time, it was a little scary, especially there was a nice little like first bump from or surge from Orange County there at the beginning of the match, but then the opponent Vegas made things a little scary for some of the Orange County fans until that extra time goal for Orange County, and then it was Orange County most of the rest of the match, I believe. Let's talk about it. Let's go to you, Dylan. I believe you were there. I didn't confirm yet if you were there because you joined us late as you always do. Dylan, what was it like there at in County Line Coalition at Championship Soccer Stadium for this match? And were you nervous at any point there in the first 45 minutes?
No. So I sat separate from the CLC in this match. Still wanted to make it. Just ran into an old friend and an old friend of the podcast and felt like could do some catching up there. So, wanted a different view as well. But was there for most of this match, or excuse me, for all of this match. It was particularly worrying in the first half, and I know we don't score until pretty late on, but I felt like we offered the dangerous chances, and Vegas didn't offer a ton. Sorry for the background noise. I'm obviously outside. But it was felt like unlike all the other Vegas matches where I just we're like one weird set piece away from giving up a goal. And Vegas didn't seem to really be prepared to force us into giving up set pieces. And so things went well. I think Alex Rando really kept Vegas into this match as long as Vegas was in this match up until that 2-0.
Let me go to you, Alan. Yeah, I was actually going to mention that Alex Rando definitely helped keep Vegas in the match. Then he makes a mistake late in the match that allows Orange County to add to their lead. But I want to go to you because right now we're watching the highlights on the stream, and there's this interesting play. I've never seen this where a player gets a call and complains to the ref and gets a second yellow. So this is, I get it. Las Vegas is young, so you're going to have some youth mistakes here. But a player already in yellow gets the call, but still complains to the ref in some way. I don't know, Dylan, if you were close enough to hear what was said to get that second yellow. But Alan, have you ever seen anything like this where you get the call and you argue to get a second yellow and get kicked out of the match?
I have not. I have not. So I had this on my phone when I was at a watch party for the San Diego match. I had this on my phone and was a little bit more engaged with this game than the 0-0 San Diego match. And I was confused at what happened because I didn't really see it until I saw the red card. And I was just like, wait, what? I was like, he fouled. So I was like, oh, he must have fouled Ronaldo. That was my first thought, was he must have fouled. And then I rewound it and saw that he called the free kick against Ronaldo. And then I was like, wait, how? He must have said something real naughty to that referee and then decides to essentially box his teammates, who I think we're just trying to get him hey, let's get him away. Clearly he's upset about something. He wasn't even the one that was fouled. It was just real confusing. This isn't quite as bad as so on USL Pony, his Twitter, I think his banner is a guy who gets injured and gets a red card after he gets injured. And I think that is probably the closest thing I've seen to something like that. But I have never seen a guy essentially, Orange County and Vegas, it was kind of a closer match. And I think that's changed the complexion, allowed Orange County to play a little bit freer. We've seen this with them as well, that they sometimes become undisciplined when up a man. But I thought that they did a really good job of taking advantage of the opportunities that they had. But yeah, it just seems like a really silly mistake. Yeah, he must have said something not very nice to the official, and you're already on a yellow. You gotta bite your tongue in those situations.
Let me go to you, Brad, and you can share your thoughts on this match. But it was nice to see Thomas Volton with a goal, although it was from a PK, but it was nice to get a goal from Thomas Volton. Also nice to see a goal for Robbie Kiernan, who is definitely a favorite of our show, been on multiple times with us. Anytime a defender can get a goal, it's always a nice thing. And then Ronaldo, who's just killing it out there with, I believe leading Western Conference in scoring, which is pretty cool for this youngster who I don't think anyone thought was going to play a major role for Orange County heading into the season. I think everyone thought he was going to contribute, but I didn't think he was going to be this great of a player. So I'm going to ask you, A, which of the goals were you most excited about? And B, just what were your thoughts on this match?
Personally, I was most excited seeing Anna Voltson come back and get a goal, mostly because the team lets him, he plays 30 minutes this game, 32 minutes. The team lets him take the penalty shot there, which is pretty big. It shows that there's a lot of trust, there's leadership, he's one of the senior players on the team, and B, how big of it is that's his first goal in the season, I believe, and he he's able to get that. It's kind of like just the relief of getting that first one. I had a not PG way of wording it, but I'll keep it to myself. But for Damas there, you know, that goal was a long time coming. He had so many chances in this game to score a goal, and it's just unlucky here, unlucky there. Rando makes a killer save on him. And finally, you can see the relief for him that he's able to score that goal, and it's like, okay, I got it. And then he gets immediately subbed off for Aiden Apodaca. And also, just want to make a quick little note. Seth Kasipli played a couple of minutes this game. I know that's not, 10 minutes. I know it's not 20 minutes, but 4 minutes is getting back on the field. He's healthy enough to be in the lineup, which is a huge thing. And seeing him come back, hopefully he'll be able to get some more playing time soon, 20, 30 minutes. And the team starts looking better going into playoffs.
Definitely. And it was amazing to see the team play a full match without conceding, even though you're up, but conceding a late goal or even dropping points, which would have been very tragic in this match. It was good to see the team finish a match with a clean sheets, and because there's a big match coming ahead, it was very important for them to get these full 3 points. And I'm going to give credit to my prediction, because we all know when I make the 5-0 prediction with the opposing team getting the 5 points, it always works out for good. And I wish our producer Andy would show Dylan's camera right now, because I see some kissing going on. I see some of his fans wanting to get on camera, but apparently Dylan's off camera. Let's bring him on there. There it is. There's Dylan.
Sorry about that. Obviously, hey, I said
I'm in the green room.
Really drunk,
Dylan, I'm in the green room with our producer, so I can see everything going on.
Yeah, I know. This is my bad, but
you're welcome.
She's your bad.
I wanted to ask.
Away. Oh.
I wanted to ask Dylan, since Dylan has a guest at his on his screen. I wanted to ask his guest what the thoughts are on this match.
Guys, it was a tough match, is all I can say, and everyone did their best. But I think whoever won was supposed to win. So I'm sorry, my sport is tennis. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Just say that
Robbie Kiernan is a dreamboat.
There we go.
Dylan Allen is a dreamboat. Look at that face.
I'm so sorry for hijacking this podcast, everyone. I used to take it seriously, and now I just want to get drunk.
When have we ever taken this podcast seriously, Dylan? Come on, be honest. We invited a guy that opened a Doritos bag on the USL show to be on our podcast. When did we ever take this serious?
That's very fair. But to disagree with her, no, I think this was, basically all Orange County. Red card aside, I think it looked like it was always going to be Orange County in this match. And a funny red card, and some good performances, and people are getting healthy again. And Mikko Kuningas maybe wasn't super jazzed about only playing for half an hour, but Richard Chaplow said that he's right on the cusp of a suspension for yellow card accumulation, so they really need him for Phoenix. I would imagine he probably gets booked and misses a match following Phoenix.
Well, that's the thing. You want Mikko Kuningas, you want him with his full energy out there. You don't want him holding back because he's scared to pick up that card that's going to suspend him, right? So you got to hold him back when you can, so you can have that Mikko Kuningas, because he's that guy that's going to wreak havoc on the pitch for the opposing team. He doesn't back down. He doesn't take anything. He's going to get under their heads. We've seen that from Robbie Kiernan in the past, last year. And Robbie Kiernan has told us that, he loves to do that to the other team. I think Mikko takes it a step further, right? Mikko takes that a step further and tries to get in the heads of the other players. for the opposing team. Let me ask you, Dylan, really quick, because I know you want to head out. You want to go hang out with your friends and family or whatever. Have you ever seen anything like that red card situation that we saw where a player that got the call argues and he's already on a yellow, so he gets booted out of the game because of it?
No. I don't think I've ever seen, and I've watched some like absolute capitulations happen on the pitch before. I don't think I've ever seen a team do that. I don't think I've seen a player do that before. I don't think I've ever seen a team that seems as disjointed as Vegas, because after the match, Alex Rando was yelling at its teammates to just shut their mouths and keep it cool, because clearly that's been something of an issue. Now, Traore really just did not have a good game. He caught Brian Olowski in the face with his boot. I thought he would have been off there. He got a yellow and then turns around, and I have to imagine that Bob Bradley was watching this match. I have to imagine that his LAFC career is already over, which is a little unfortunate because he's 19. But wow, I think the reason that this game was as simple as it was for Orange County, at least in my eyes, was that like Vegas didn't seem up for it, and they seemed as a team of individuals, as Orange County has often seemed before. And I think this was a little bit of a change of fortunes where Orange County had a chip on their shoulder, and Orange County said, you know what, we got 3-1 last time. We got beat 3-1 last time. We're not going to do that again. And, we're going to go at it hard and take it away. And that's what they did.
So I got to ask you really quick, Dylan. I'm going to go to you one more time on this. Is you were very critical on the club switching coaches midseason. And we've seen this club now since the switch. They've at least gotten results in every single match. They still have done some things that we saw from the old group where, like against El Paso, where you're dropping that giving up that late goal, which drops a couple points, but you're still getting results. You're not losing these matches against, say, Las Vegas, which we've seen Orange County do early in the season. Have you been convinced now that maybe that was the right move at that point of the season and the team is looking better because of it?
No. I don't actually think the team particularly looks better. It's the same system. It's the same players. It's the same errors against El Paso that got us here. I think there's fitness in the team. And now it means guys have to fight for their shirt. And this is something I talked to Richard Chappell about on Saturday night after the match. And he said, guys have to fight for their spot. And that's only good for the group. Because no longer do you have Chris Wean as the only left winger. No longer do you have Brian Olowski as the only 10. No longer do you only have Ronaldo as a guy who can play as a 9, or Arrow who can play as a 9. Like, you've got all of these guys that can do a job in their specific spots. You've got Kevin Olsen, who's doing his best and clearly doesn't look all that great. You've got Brent Richards, who's getting a deserved rest. And it's good for the club. I think it's more that we're kind of rounding into fitness at the end of a really long slog of matches than it is a change in the team leadership.
I'm going to go to you, Brad, on this next question, and feel free to answer any question we've talked about so far. But I'm looking at the rosters for Orange County and Las Vegas. Las Vegas had a very, very young squad on the pitch, and even with their subs, I believe they even brought in a 15-year-old in this match in I'm going to get the name wrong, but his last name is Romero, Javen, however you say his first name, 15 years old. But they had players at the 19, 17, 23, 20, 18, all in that age group. And Orange County's playing some players that are, Michael Orozco's 35. He's twice the age or more than twice the age of some of these players that played for Vegas. So can we be excited for a 3-0 victory, or is this something that anything other than a 3-0 victory is sort of lost? Even if you get the victory, conceding a late goal or something, is that a loss because of the big age gap in these two teams?
I mean, it's not just that. It's also the fact that I think they only had 5 subs to use, and that's including a goalie. 1, 2, 3, 5 subs including goalie, and they made the 4 subs that wasn't the goalie. That's a big scary thing that we've been there this season. The age difference probably plays a role in it. Mohamed Traore did get that second yellow for a red, and I can almost guarantee you, not being there, and I don't have supersonic ears from here in Reno, but I can guarantee you he's probably complaining why did Damas not get a yellow card there for that tackle in the box? It's kind of one of those that, the ref could have, if he wanted to, given a yellow card. And as soon as he gets sent off for that, because the ref doesn't want to hear the back talk and doesn't want to be disrespected, is when he kind of went into that little tirade. Obviously wasn't there. I don't have ears in the Las Vegas locker room, but if I were to kind of stake what happened, I bet you that's one of those things that could have, if not was likely to happen. Did I miss any other parts in your question before I move on from that?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what my question was.
Okay, so more out. Moving on, anyways, a couple more thoughts that I have from this game itself is it was nice to have a game, where a back four was different the whole time, but for the most part with Richards out. But Kobe Henry is a name that I didn't have to hear said by the announcers once all game, I believe, which, is a huge, sometimes it's best that no news is good news, and this is one of those cases where Henry has a solid game, and isn't being called upon to that he did something wrong or bad from us. And Rakowski had a quiet night. I think there was only one shot on target, so an all-around good team effort. And is it bad that 81 minutes in, right before the penalty kick comes up, that I'm sitting there worried and trying not to jinx us that we're going to allow a goal a man down, and that's the expectation we've had all season. So it's very nice to see that we get 2 more goals and makes my prediction look slightly better.
That worry means you've become a true Orange County Soccer Club fan, because that's been a big worry for not just this season, but I think the last couple seasons where the team falters late in matches. Let me go to you, Alan, really quick. Is there no better stat to describe this match? Brad sort of gave one of the bits, right? If you look at the goalkeeper stats, Patrick Rakowski, 1 shot on target against, 1 save. Alex Rando, 11 shots on target against, 9 saves. I mean, is that really, if you look at that stat, you should think, okay, Orange County's winning this match easily, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think a guy like Rando can keep his team in as much as he can. But with a team that's lost 8 in a row, this is their 8th loss in a row. Vegas is back to the way they were at the beginning of the season. They had a nice little run in the middle where they put together a couple nice results. You had some guys who were going up and down, but they were really depleted. No Crisostomo, no Cal Jennings. They had no guy up top that's usually been a threat for Las Vegas. And if you look at kind of that Oakland Roots game, that midweek for Vegas, you had Crisostomo and you had Cal Jennings. I think, yes, they still lose, but they lose 1-0, right? I think LAFC is pulling up a bunch of these young guys, which is great for these players. Orange County fans are probably super stoked that Danny Crisostomo is playing with LAFC and getting some good minutes. But that kind of up and down, who knows who you're going to get. Las Vegas looked really light. And, you're missing a lot of those players who can make a difference and keep a game competitive. So with the lineup the way it was against Vegas, I think 3 points was, the goal for sure. Anything less would have been disappointing. Robbie Kiernan and his goal, I think, Orange and Black SoccerCast can take some credit for that, for putting that into his brain, right? We asked him who's going to score more goals, him or who'd we ask, him or Orozco? And he was like, oh, Orozco's going to score more goals. But I think we put that little seed in there that he's like, I'm going to beat Orozco to this. But I think it's just, a good quality win for Orange County. They could have played down to their opponent, like we've seen them do in the past from time to time. So this has got to feel good. 4 results on the bounce heading into Phoenix has got to get the team up in good, what's the word I'm looking for, spirits. And Voltson getting the goal and the assist. It's good. I'm sure it's great to see him back and happy and playing on the pitch. He did not look happy in the El Paso game. But this is complete domination, as it should be. Orange County should be dominating this version of Las Vegas all the time.
So let's do this really quick. One last question for you, Brad, and then we can move on and we can talk about this match that Alan mentioned here. Brad, as a Reno fan, everyone that follows USL knows Reno disliked Vegas and Vegas disliked Reno. So how big is watching your new team basically control this match from start to finish?
Oh man, it's always very good watching Vegas lose. Yeah, hashtag lights out has always been kind of the thing. We even had, we would make the trip down. It's a fun, boring drive, 7 hours south to Vegas.
I was going to say a fun drive. What is there to do between Reno and Vegas, but see desert?
There's Amargosa Valley. There's the tiny town of Beatty. There's the tiny town of there's a brewery, Tonopah. The world's largest munitions depot is in Hawthorne, and I could keep going. There's a couple other fun places. Urington's kind of a weird spot. It's a little country town that has an old mine. I love the close up on Alan's face. No, it's always nice to see Vegas lose. I need to figure out how to download a GIF from Twitch, because my favorite one is an old one that a person made for Reno, where they have the Las Vegas Lights logo and the background of Vegas behind it, and the lights kind of turn off, and then the logo starts turning off, the neon lights and the logo, and the only thing left is an L. And that's the only thought that was going through my mind after that game, is just Las Vegas Lights, afterwards. So it's always nice seeing them lose, but
Perfect. That's the answer I was looking for, right? Let's move ahead, because this is a big match coming up here for Orange County. It's not a big match in terms of maybe potentially being able to catch Phoenix in the standings, because I don't think anyone believes anyone's going to catch Phoenix at this point. Even those in San Diego, right, Alan? You guys don't believe anyone's going to catch Phoenix right now. So it's a battle for that second place in the Western Conference Pacific Division. Why is that so important? It's because that team will get home advantage in the first round. Now, we've talked about in the past, maybe Orange County doesn't want that home advantage the way they've played most of the season. But if they can play like they did this past weekend, then maybe it will be an advantage. Orange County will be traveling out to Phoenix this weekend to face a tough Phoenix team. Last time we were out there, we were this close. We were within seconds of coming home with a full 3 points, but Phoenix gets Phoenix things from extra time, and Orange County gets Orange County things by dropping points this season, which seems to be a thing. But this will be a big match, and it's good to have this momentum. You guys talked about it. The result streak here going on now, positive points in every single match for the last few matches going into Phoenix. Is this now, do we have hope going into this Phoenix match, or is this a big hill to climb still? I'm going to go to you first, Alan.
I mean, this is where you say, hey, it's getting really close to the playoffs. We want to put some type of marker down that we can be successful in Phoenix, because you might have to go there during the playoffs and play them. And right now they are 8-3-0 at home, with probably a 462 goal differential at home. It's like 32 goals and 8 allowed. You also want to kind of keep pace with some of your competitors who've like San Diego's had a little bit of success against Phoenix. Obviously, I think it's 1 win, 1 draw, and 2 losses. I can be corrected if I'm wrong on that. But if you put that up against Phoenix, then you match San Diego on those kind of points, and that keeps pace for that kind of second place. Yeah, Phoenix is a tough place to play. It's probably going to be hot, like it always is in Phoenix. I think it's a rule that it always must be hot in Phoenix. But I think the way Phoenix is playing right now, they're not necessarily playing their best soccer. They looked okay against New Mexico. They came back down a man against Los Dos, but they were kind of really sloppy. But they're going to be up for this one. But they do play a midweek match at home against Vegas. So it'll be interesting. They'll probably rotate against Vegas and probably try to come in strong against Orange County. So it should be a fun match.
So I'm going to go to you, Brad. I want to ask you the importance of this match, because when we look at the standings for the Western Conference Pacific Division, currently you got Phoenix in first with 47 points, followed by San Diego and Orange County, both have 34 points, but San Diego has the edge there due to their I forget how the USL.
It's 1 goal differential
things,
right now, or 1 goal for.
Okay. However, USL does all
Or
that
wins
stuff, right?
first. I don't know.
It's it's head-to-head wins, head-to-head goal differential, which are even. The third tiebreak is points against in-division competitors. And the last time I looked at this, it was 30-28. But I think San Diego drew, and then Orange County won, so it might be even. Who knows?
So who knows what the 6th or 7th
Look
tiebreaker
at you coming in with your homework, Alan.
Well, he's
Thanks.
a San Diego fan, so he knows this stuff. He's following both these clubs. But you look at fourth, Orange Counties and San Diego both have 34 points. Tacoma has 30 points, but they have 3 games in hand on both San Diego and Orange County. So they are in control at this point. If they can win 3 matches here, they jump up on top of those 2 teams. So this is where it becomes important for Orange County to at least get a result in this match, right, Brad? They have to at least come home with 1 point. We always talk about it. Strive for at least 1 point on the road minimum. If you get 3 points, that's sort of a bonus. In this match, is that true? Orange County has to at least get 1 point in this match in Phoenix, right? Even though Phoenix is a very tough place to get 3 points or even 1 point.
I don't think you need the win. The win obviously helps. The tie obviously helps. Any points help. But, you pencil in always a loss versus Phoenix. Orange County still has games to be played against Oakland, still has games to be played against Tacoma, and I believe 1 more game against San Diego Loyal. Those are the 3 games you need to win. So, yeah, beating Phoenix on the road is important, but it's Phoenix. It's in Phoenix. It's a hard place to go win. I think it's safer to assume, even if Orange County starts getting healthier, which they have been, that it's just you just want to see the team escape with a point, and but you don't expect this to be a win or a loss or a draw. You just pencil it in. Whatever you get in this, it's whatever you do in those other games against those other opponents.
I do not know what you all are drinking up there in Reno, but I never pencil in a loss in any match ever. Maybe it's just, maybe Reno wasn't used to winning a lot. I don't know, but there's no penciling in a loss. When you're right, Alan, right on the road, you get at least that draw. That's what you're striving for. You're not penciling. You're not throwing away this game. It's not like we're Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs and we're just sitting down our 3 or 4 stars for a back-to-back match against, I don't know, whoever the worst team in the NBA is, maybe the Magic. I don't know. You're not doing that. You're not giving this match away. You're still trying to get a result out of it. Is Brad smoking something funny there, Alan?
I rambled my words there, so probably.
I think you play for the win. I think as supporters in the team, I don't think you're heartbroken with the draw. You've already taken points off them on the road already. I said already twice with great word usage, Underwood. You've already taken points off them on the road. I don't think you're heartbroken if you lose. I don't think this is one where you're like, you might be mad the day of, but then you turn the page and you're like, all right, they got 4 points at home. So we just need to match 4 points at home on the last 2 matches. So I think this is the one where you go in, you try to put a marker down, you want to win. As supporters, I think you go in and say, we want to win, but we're okay. Like, we'll sign up for a draw. And then if it's a loss, you'd be mad about it for about 24 hours and then realize that you get Oakland at home. You turn the page.
But you're not penciling in a loss for this match, right? Okay. I just want to make sure that you're at least sane here and you're not penciling in a loss against Phoenix. And Brad, don't even talk right now.
Do you want me to Do you want me to answer this as like a Orange County podcast, or do you want me to answer this as a San Diego Loyal fan? Because the San Diego Loyal fan is like writing this in with a loss with a Sharpie and putting that out in the universe. But
wait, you're writing it in as a loss for Orange County, or when San Diego plays Phoenix, you're writing it as a loss?
No. When Orange County, I wanting this to be a loss because I need this. San Diego needs.
Let me ask you
to
this:
separate themselves.
He's putting it in Sharpie. I'm just sitting here like, you're not sad with a loss, but I would pencil it in. He's Sharpieing this.
Right?
Okay.
No.
Let me ask it this way. Let me ask it this way then.
As a San Diego fan,
hold on.
Yeah.
If you're Coach Richard Chaplow, are you writing in that this is a loss when you're looking at the schedule?
No, you believe that with Ronaldo and Thomas and Voltson, you could do some damage against Phoenix. You go in there expecting to play as hard as you can to get a win. As a San Diego fan, it's like this hoping this is a loss, because then it makes that weekend match that San Diego has on Sunday a little bit more interesting for playoff purposes. But I think Orange County has the horses to go in there and put up a fight against Phoenix. They could win. They have the ability to win. I don't think any Orange County person should be penciling in an L on this match. And
we're healthier for this match than we were a few weeks ago when we were in Phoenix. We have more healthy players, and we have more. And it's not just like, I'm not saying we have the 18th player on the roster is getting healthy. We have key contributors to this team that are getting healthy at this point. Thomas Voltson is a key part of this team. Darwin Jones, Seth Kasipli, these are all players that are going to play a big part of Orange County to wrap up the season and in the playoffs, regardless of where we finish. So you can't pencil in a loss here, Brad. I'm sorry. You cannot pencil in a loss, even if it's against the mighty Phoenix Rising. And you should know by now, you've been now with this podcast officially since the beginning of this season, and you followed this team in the past. Orange County and Phoenix, that's a big deal, at least for a lot of Orange County fans, is Phoenix is a team that you want to beat, because we still remember what it was like at the championship, Western Conference Championship match, when those Phoenix fans stormed the stadium. So we don't forget that. We'll never forget that. We're going to go and we're going to hope for the full 3 points. But if we get 1 point, at least that's something. And you want to keep this streak going. You're looking at Richard Chaplow now. He hasn't had a match with 0 point result, and we want to keep that going. Get some sort of result. Brad, I'll give you one last say on this, because you sort of started this whole argument here about writing in a loss against Phoenix. Was that must be why Reno's no longer around. I mean, that has to be, if you guys were writing in losses for matches against teams like Phoenix.
I feel like, the Scotch is kind of taking control of some of my words. Because if you couldn't tell, I stumbled in that little bit. I struggled to get through there, so it's probably just Brad's had a little bit too much to drink tonight, not enough to eat. But essentially what I was trying to say is, if Orange County loses, it's not the end of the season. This is a game that you can lose and still easily make second place in the league, because you still have a game against San Diego to be played. And it's in Orange County. You still have, a game against Tacoma, a game against Oakland, 2
Who's
games
doing good
Oakland,
recently.
sorry.
Oakland's doing good recently. So that's not early in the season, you can mark Oakland as a W. If we're going to mark things, you want to mark those W's, not those L's. So that was Oakland early in the season, but they're doing good now. And Tacoma's a tough opponent. And San Diego is doing good. Orange County has a tough schedule to finish things out here. You got to get results. So no L's.
Ideally no L's.
That Orange County San Diego match the team that wins that tiebreaker, essentially. So that's
it could be pointless if Tacoma wins out, because then Tacoma's ahead of us all.
Then you're fighting for 3rd or 4th place, and you're looking at who's going to play against probably El Paso in the first round of playoffs.
There we go. Let's do this. Let's do our predictions for this. And guess what? We don't have Dylan here. I don't know what we want to do for our predictions. Do we want to all sort of figure this out, or do we want to let our producer Andy vote for Dylan's score prediction? And please, because Dylan's in the lead, so let's give him something crazy. So what do we want to do? I'm going to leave it for Andy to say if he wants to he can go on the chat here and say if he wants to do the prediction for Dylan here. But we'll go to he passes. Alan, Alan, I love your prediction in the chats because that's Dylan's favorite number. So let's just do that. So let's go first. Who's our first on our list? Alan, you're first for our predictions against Phoenix in Phoenix. Remember, give Orange County's score first, followed by Phoenix's score.
2-2 draw.
All right, we're going to go to Brad next.
I am going to undercut him and go 1-1 draw, just like before.
And then we got Dylan's score, and because Alan was the one that came up with this score line, I'm gonna let Alan take over. What is Dylan's prediction, Alan?
The actual retail price is $69.69.
Hey,
Dylan.
and no, I have
here's
one
the thing, though,
fun
Brad.
little.
Hey, wait, hold on. I'm gonna let you jump in here. Do we want to allow? Do we want Dylan to have a tie, or do we want to give him one of these teams winning? How comfortable are we? Are we good with this?
I'm good with this, and my one reason, very scientific, is that's the amount of points he has right now in the tracker. He's at 69 points there as well. So give him 69 on 69 points.
That's why he's out there celebrating with his friends instead of being on the podcast with us, is because of that scoreline. Hey, I'm going to go with my prediction because it worked last week, and you all know how much I believe in this scoreline helping out Orange County. So I'm predicting a 5-0 win for Phoenix in this match. 5-0 for Phoenix. We didn't talk about our prediction game here at the scoreline. Brett already let us know where Dylan's at. He's at 69 points in the lead, but his lead has shrunk a little bit over the last few weeks. Brad is closing in on that. Brad is at 61 points. Alan, do you believe you still have a chance in this year at 47 points?
No.
and I'm sacrificing any and all points on this because, again, I believe in my system. By going 5-0 for the opponent, it's going to create points for Orange County in the final part of the season. So I'm going to go with my prediction. I'm stuck at 35 points. There's no way I'm even catching up to Alan at this point. So let's just go with this, right? So that's how that goes. So we've got our predictions in. Share your predictions if you're watching live in the comments, and we can maybe let people know what you are thinking. And yeah, let's move ahead then. We've talked about that match. Is there anything else soccer related we want to talk about? I think we discussed a few things before we went live, but let's just talk about some random soccer news. Thank you, producer. Anyone have any random soccer news that they want to share with the world, or that they want us to discuss?
I have two. The first one, I will make it the quicker one. In the world of the Champions League today, Young Boys beat Man United 2-1. Young Boys is, I believe, a Swiss team. Yes, Switzerland. But more importantly in that game, not the actual fact that Young Boys won, but the game-winning goal of Mr. Jordan, I'm not even going to attempt his last name, is an American. He's actually not even a starting American forward. He's like the third down on the U.S. men's national team's depth chart. He had a nice little goal where, just being a smart player in the right place at the right time in the 95th minute of the game to beat Ronaldo's Manchester United. With that one quickly out of the way, my other one that I wanted to say is...
Wait, hold on, Brad. You cannot get off that easily. You have to try and pronounce that name that you did not want to pronounce.
Mr. Theosin Jordan Sibachu.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was looking at that score line between the two teams. I was looking at both of the Young Boys scores, and both of them were going to be difficult. So that's why I just threw you on the bus. I didn't know which one it was going to be, but I figured it would be one of those. Let me just say this, and share your thoughts in any comments, whether you're watching live or, in the future, just tweet at us. Is there any more weird name than Young Boys? Like, hey, we beat Young Boys today. Like, does that just sound weird if you're going to say something like that? If Man U would have been victorious, do the fans go, we beat Young Boys today? Yeah. Or is that a weird name? I just want to get your thoughts on that really quick, gentlemen, and then I'll go to Brad's second random soccer.
You literally just said I was looking at Young Boys results.
Well, I was scared when I went into Google to look at this, and I just typed in Young Boys and hit
Young Boys
search.
FC.
I was just
Young
worried,
Boys
now I'm going to
Switzerland.
have like the NSA and all those watch groups looking at my search results when I'm typing things, because I typed in Young Boys, hit enter, and what
You
goes
give
on,
them
right?
too much credit. They don't have that much time on their hands.
What was your other thought, Brad?
So I'm not as well versed in this one, but I just wanted to talk about, so the United States men's national team just released their ticket prices for their game against Mexico. And I believe the minimum ticket price for the nosebleeds, and I believe it's in Charlotte. I don't remember exactly where the game is going to be played, but the minimum ticket prices for that game are $125 a ticket.
American
and
sports.
American sports, but that's significantly up from the average ticket being in the $20 to $30 range, which is affordable for a family. And obviously this is the men's national team. It's a big deal. You want to price your tickets so that American fans will be more inclined to buy it over visiting fans, because we do tend to perform, or not perform, but we do tend to be outclassed by the Mexico national team El Tri fans. But $125 for the cheap seats. I'm not even talking about $200 to $250 for lower down in that upper deck area. Is How much is too much? How much is it when it's too much that you're pricing the average American family out who wants to bring their kids to the game, who wants to show their kid, U.S. men's national soccer and get them interested in the team? Is there a point where you're pricing too much? And I believe Charlotte FC, and that's why I even bring it up, is doing the same thing with their own ticket prices when they start in the MLS next year. Is there a certain point where charging a ridiculous ticket price is actually stopping the growth of soccer in America?
So you're from Reno, Brad, so I know it's a little bit different for you, but here in the LA area, I mean, really, right? You look at Lakers games in the LA area, most of the people buying tickets are business people, rich people, celebrities trying to flaunt their celebrity. You go into the nosebleeds, it's still decently expensive. It's not quite that much, I don't think. I may be wrong. Correct me, any Lakers fans that have been to games recently. But it seems like you price out a lot of the average fan for those seats. I remember back in the days with the Clippers when they made the playoffs back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, I got like the nosebleed. I was literally like top of the stadium. Behind me was the wall to the top of the stadium there. It was like 10 or 15 bucks a ticket for a playoff game. That was awesome. I mean, I don't think I would be able to get that type of ticket price now. There's two trains of thought. Either they are overpricing it, and now you're just trying to get corporate America to buy tickets and give tickets away, or bring, business colleagues or whatever you want to call it to the games and do it that way. Or the game has grown that much in America where people are now, the average US fan is willing to spend that amount of money. I'm going to go towards it being more, it's now they're just trying to sell the corporate and get the money. And make it seem like it's a big event. It's almost now like they're trying to treat it like it's the Super Bowl. It's this big ticket event where only the elite can get in. But I agree with you, Brad. I think that sort of sucks that you're taking the game away from the average American fan or family group that wants to go to the match, because that's the heart and soul of it. You go to Laker games, and for most of the game, it's just a bunch of people sitting there. There's really no excitement. Nothing against the Lakers, although I'm not a Laker fan. Nothing against them, but it's really more that status symbol at those types of games, and that sort of sucks. So I agree with you, Brad, that it seems like we're taking the game away from the true fans, the average fans. Alan, I'll let you speak on this really quick.
Cincinnati is a kind of a smaller stadium. If you're hosting Mexico, you can sell
Charlotte or Cincinnati.
It's Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Okay.
It's Cincinnati.
no.
I was looking that up too.
Damn you, Brad.
You're fine. I wasn't trying to correct you, Brad.
No, you're good.
Cincinnati, smaller stadium. Hold in a bigger stadium and cut the prices by half. You're making the same amount of money. That's not that hard. Second thing is we blast the lack of atmosphere in American soccer culture and for the national team games, right? You go, that's like, oh, this is such a hostile place to play in El Salvador. It's like, well, yeah, because the people who are going to make a bunch of noise and sing and chant and drum for 100 minutes aren't the people who are spending $1,000 on a ticket. Like, those people are like, I want to go and be seen and be a part of the atmosphere. They're not going to be there drumming and singing and chanting and, shooting off flares and fireworks at midnight in front of the hotels, right? So it's you can't get mad at American soccer fans for not bringing that same kind of environment when you don't allow the average fan to show up, right? A college student isn't going to drop $125.
Are you going to drop
Hell no.
$125 to a match, Alan?
No.
Nope.
And we're all pretty decently great big soccer fans, and I guarantee there's a lot of people that listen to our podcast that are at our level of soccer fandom that aren't going to want to spend that kind of money on it.
Like, if it was
because you're going to be at the very top of the stadium, you're not going to be able to see much. You can go to the local pub and watch the game in 4K or whatever. And B, it's just, you're not going to have that same type of atmosphere, right? You want to go to a soccer match to have that atmosphere. You want to be able to cheer and be rambunctious and Alan wants to take a shirt off and wave it around and all that stuff.
I mean, look, if this was like, I don't know, a Gold Cup final, maybe if this was like an actual World Cup like knockout round, like, sure. Like, if USA Mexico was in a World Cup match in a round of 32 or whatever it's going to be, yeah, for sure, I'd think about dropping that kind of money. But for a World Cup qualifying event in Cincinnati, like, thanks but no thanks. Like, I can make chili in my house. Like, sure, it might not be Skyline chili, but
it'll be better.
I'm gonna do some spaghetti with some chili on
like
it?
Hornell chili, some onions, and some fries, and that'll cost me.
No. If you're gonna go Cincinnati style, you got to do the spaghetti with the chili on it,
cheddar cheese on top, cheddar
and the cheese. Yeah,
but yeah,
I don't know why they do that. I don't get that concoction. That's weird, but
you know what I mean. Like, I just think it's for a World Cup qualifying match in Cincinnati. I think it's a little bit out, and that's the cheapest ticket. Like, we put out a statement. It's like a lot of our tickets are under $200. It's like under $200. That's what. That's crazy.
I'm not paying for little Tommy to sit next to me for $200 when I have to spend $200 too.
Right. Yeah. Right. I'm in that same boat. I'm not going to bring my family to that game because I know my kids 20 minutes into it are going to be bored or going to want to leave or going to want to, go and do something else or go walk around the stadium. And I'm not going to get to watch the match. This pricing point is specifically for people that have money that are going as like sort of corporate tickets, right? I guarantee there's going to be corporations buying like 100 tickets and gifting them to clients or gifting them to potential clients, right? That's exactly what this pricing point is in this type of setup.
Boo.
I know I sort of cut you off there, Alan. Did you have a last thought on this?
No, that was it. It was boo. That was my last thought.
Okay. Boo. Let's also talk about U.S. soccer because this seems to be a recurring theme here tonight. The whole thought of this fourth invite to CONCACAF or entry into CONCACAF Champions League is now going to go pretty much to an MLS team instead of maybe giving it to someone that is in a lower league, which we get most of the time. It is MLS teams that make it because MLS teams win the U.S. Open Cup, the Lamar Hunt Cup. With that being canceled this year, it's sort of like, let's just give it to the fourth best MLS team instead of finding a way to give a lower league team a chance to win. I know Harry, who listens to us out in San Antonio, tweeted about it and said, why not just have like a 4-team tournament, the champions of MLS, USL Championship, League One, and NISA play in a short little tournament. Whoever wins that tournament gets that last invite. Apparently it's not just US soccer, it's sort of CONCACAF is what I'm hearing is not really wanting to have a lower team in there. We were talking about before, and it's sort of Brad mentioned with like young boys beating Man United. It's sort of fun to watch these smaller teams beat the giants from time to time. Are we as upset as some other fans are about the lack of opportunities for lower division soccer? I'll go to you first, Brad.
Usually the winner of the Open Cup anyways is an MLS team. So there's that, but there's always the chance of seeing a Rochester Rhinos make a deep run and make it towards the finals and, fighting for that one chance to go international. Like these teams in lower division American soccer don't have that chance to look internationally. even though MLS teams always win the US Open Cup, or at least in modern times, it would still be nice to see. It'd be nice to see, teams being given a chance to play internationally. I know it doesn't sell as well as the big name MLS teams, but I whatever. It's the open, or it's the CONCACAF Champions Cup. It doesn't matter to me anyways.
All right, doesn't
Alan's
matter to
gone.
Brad.
Alan's back.
Alan's back. Alan, your quick thoughts on that before we wrap things up here.
Then what is the point of the Open Cup, right? If there's no,
Well, we don't have an Open Cup this year.
What I mean is, like, if the future is they want to have only MLS teams, and if the fear is that they don't give this spot back to Open Cup, and if that's the direction they go, then what is the point of playing the Open Cup? You don't get any extra money, really, and if you win it, whoop-de-doo. Like,
I mean, you maybe get some extra money if you're one of the smaller clubs and you get to host a match against one of the bigger clubs. You might get some extra ticket revenue from that, but it's very, very small on there, right? It's a very small pot.
What I mean is, like, the carrot of the Open Cup is that CONCACAF Champions League spot. That's the reason why some USL teams go all in on the US Open Cup. It's what makes it fun, right? You have these MLS teams who are kind of doing what Premier League teams do with, like, the FA Cup, where they play a bunch of kids, and if they make it, then they'll take it seriously in the later rounds. But with USL clubs, like, if there is no opportunity to even try to get into the CCL, then you're going to see the same kind of thing. You're just going to see a bunch of USL Academy kids. Like, let's just get them some game time. Let's play in this tournament to get them some minutes where we can rotate some guys in. Because if there's no carrot, if that carrot doesn't come back, then there is no reason for a USL team to take a chance of getting one of their star players injured in a game that's not going to matter. So if this doesn't come back, US Open Cup becomes, like, not important at all, which is a damn shame. So this spot needs to come back to the Open Cup. But I'm really afraid that they're like, oh, this worked out okay, we'll just keep it this way. Because once you move something, once you move something, it's really hard to get it back once you lose it.
Yeah, I think the biggest fear for a lot of lower division soccer fans here in the US is that this move is going to lead to basically a monopoly from MLS. And because MLS doesn't have promotion relegation with, say, USL Championship, USL League One, it makes that even more scary. At least in, like, if this happened in England, you still have a chance as a lower division team. If you can move your way up the ladder, you get to Premier League, you still have a shot now. In US, it's really a monopoly for MLS, which maybe, who knows, maybe that ends up being some sort of court case where MLS is, they're although I don't know what would happen, but some sort of fight for that in the courts if that ends up being the case. But we all know how things like that happen, because we saw with, Ottawa Fury, when they were trying to fight the ruling from US Soccer or from CONCACAF that they can't participate in USL Championship because now there's a Canadian Premier League, they should participate in that. That was, same thing, but MLS teams were excluded from that type of requirement because soccer, I don't know. So yeah, that's the scary point. Hopefully it doesn't lead to that. Hopefully this is just a one thing or 2-year thing or whatever it is from COVID. Hopefully it goes back to what it was, fingers crossed, but who knows? We'll have more to talk about that in the years to come. Let's get down to it. We got to wrap things up here. Random thoughts. Look at that. Our producer's on top of things. Let's get to random thoughts. I'm going to save yours, Brad, for last because you said it's something special. So we want to definitely hear that last, and Dylan's going to miss out on it. Poor Dylan. Alan, your random thought for tonight.
We talked last week about Black Diamonds, NM, New Mexico, Chris Walker's supporters group. Thanks to everyone who participated and ordered a shirt. He is well above his goal of 150, and he's working his way up. And now proceeds past that. If you check out his Twitter feed, you'll talk about where those proceeds go to. But just want to give a shout out to all those people who participated and helped Chris Walker do some great stuff for his local community.
I'll go next. It's just a bunch of fun here for me. I've been playing some Football Manager 2021 as Orange County, and somehow, some way, halfway through the season, Ronaldo Damas has 23 goals in all competitions, and we just knocked off Philadelphia Union in the round of 16, I believe, for the U.S. Open Cup. So we're making a run there, and go Ronaldo Damas. The game's realistic. a great goal scorer in real life, and he's scoring in the video game. So that's pretty awesome. And yeah, so that's all I have. Just random weirdness. Who cares? Brad, this better be really good because you really teased this. So this better be the greatest random thought ever.
So first, I'd like to say, wow, I never thought the Open Cup mattered, and then you made it into the round of 16? You said in your game.
Yes, amazing, right?
Awesome. Yeah,
I should become a coach.
I should just take my words back. The Open Cup is important so that you can make the Champions League. No, my random thought for the day is kind of this little fun tidbit that over the past weekend, my girlfriend had me try out for a musical of all things. Given that I've never done musical theater, let alone theater, almost in my life, if not the past since high school. I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, they'll just give me an ensemble part, right? So the show is Elf the Musical, naturally, holiday themed coming up. Me thinking, yeah, they'll just give me an ensemble role, something that I'll just, help out in the backstage and kind of just have fun because it's her hobby. No, they give me the part of Walter, the father of Elf. So I get to be, in that little narwhal. When Elf leaves the North Pole, hope you find your dad. Well, you're looking at dad, I guess. So that would be me.
All right.
I hope that lived up to the hype that I built up.
That is it's a great musical, by the way.
That is awesome.
Great musical.
I'm going to say this, Brad. Do you get to take your costume home at any point? Ask them. Ask them.
No idea.
You need to wear it during one of our episodes.
It'd be a business suit. It wouldn't be an elf costume.
I don't care. Just wear it.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. It's a smaller theater up here in Reno, but it's for
Do you have
one
any
of their
singing parts? Any singing parts, Brad?
Yes, I will have singing parts. I'm in 4
Can
songs.
Can we hear just a small little sample of what's going to happen?
Closer to the show because the first read through was today. So let's not get ahead of yourself. Let's not get ahead of yourself.
You got to find someone that you trust with a phone to record it for us so we can snip some highlights together of you performing in local community theater in Reno in your business suit. We've got to see this. So make sure that happens. We're going to work on this, Brad. We're going to make this happen.
Have you heard about coming to the show yourself?
Dude, are you going to pay for my plane ticket to get up there?
Oh gosh, no, I won't. I'm not made of money.
Okay.
All my money goes to soccer scarves.
Well, go put $1,000 on 0 or 00 on the roulette wheel, and then you can pay for us. Let's wrap this up. I want to thank everyone that's listening live or that listens in podcast format. Apparently, I have found out that our last few episodes haven't made its way to podcast format. So I'm going to correct that tomorrow to make sure you have any of our past episodes. If you like to listen on podcasts, I apologize for that. I want to say, hey, Alan, Dylan, and Brad. Dylan's not here, so I don't know why I'm talking to him. Awesome as always. Andy, our producer working behind the scenes. Thank you for all your hard work today. Anything that you saw. There's Andy. What's up, Andy?
Hey guys.
That's his for Dylan, for Alan, for Brad, and Andy, this is Ray, the Orange and Black SoccerCast, and we are out.